Hello and welcome. My name is Roger Quayle, and you are listening to My Life in the Mosh of Ghosts. Hello and welcome back to My Life in the Mosh of Ghosts with me, your host, Roger Quayle, and thank you for joining me. We have reached the last gig of 1979. So we're off to see Sheffield band Artery with support from Doncaster band the Shy Tots at the Blitz Club at the George IV on Tuesday the 18th of December 1979. Sunday night. Mum and Dad have gone to bed, and I'm alone watching the late film on BBC Two. Elliott Gould in Getting Straight. He's a bit of a hero to me, since an end-of-term school screening of MASH, part of a progressive, enlightened programme, which also included Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, All Quiet on the Western Front, The War Game, Polanski's Macbeth, and, most unforgettably, Jenny Agutter's glistening, naked body in Walkabout. Elliott Gould is cool. He was cool as Trapper John McIntyre, cool as Philip Marlowe in The Long Goodbye, and he brings his cynical sang-froid to Harry Bailey, a Vietnam veteran turned teacher in Getting Straight. So when Harry/Elliott says, I was shafted, you were shafted, she was shafted, we all get shafted the same, it resonates with me. We're 8 months into Thatcher's new Tory government, and unemployment, inflation and interest rates are all on the rise. I've been signing on at the Dole office on West Street since leaving school in June. The latest of many recent knockbacks is a rejection letter for a nice looking job at Sheffield City Libraries on Surrey Street, for which I had at least been interviewed. This means I'll be entering the 80s at the end of a long line of 1.5 million unemployed. I still have hopes for my alternative career as a music industry titan. If only DVA could gig more often than a typical lunar phase cycle, while staying off the liquor and drugs, at least on show days. It's the Tuesday before Christmas when I sign on for the last time in 1979. The rest of the day is spent drinking coffee and reading the papers in the same library by which I've just been declined employment. The decade is dying, and everyone, from Joan Bakewell to Robin Day, is reflecting upon the past 10 years. Malcolm Muggeridge is unavoidable. Tuesday also means my weekly visit to the Blitz Club, the no-wave high chaparral above the George IV pub on Langsett Road. Corralled by local scenester, DJ and face-about-town Disco John, this local saloon is the fashionable watering hole for Sheffield's square pegs, misfits and broken biscuits. Up first tonight are Shy Tots, 2 blokes and 2 lasses from Doncaster. All appear to be dressed in leftovers from the costume pod on Space 1999, melting on stage in Moonbase Alpha Baco foil. Shy Tots sound like a working men's club version of the Rosillos, bereft of the zip and zing that made Fay Fife's combo a chart-threatening proposition. This is new wave bubblegum, with all the flavour chewed out. Headliners Artery come with a reputation as one of the Sheffield bands most likely to succeed. They've built up a solid local following since emerging a year ago from the ashes of Hobbinfoot and just the. They have also released a debut single called Mother Moon, and this is my first time seeing them live. Like Graph, I'm So Hollow and Disease, Artery are yet another Sheffield band influenced by punk pioneers Wire. There must be copies of Chairs Missing in rehearsal rooms and sparsely furnished bedsits all over South Yorkshire. Artery share Wire's studied minimalist approach to songwriting. One-chord workouts for degraded fuzz-tone guitars and bulbous bass lines, with deadpan vocals. Pete Shelley sings Eno, wreathed on top. Out front, Mick Fiddler and Mark Goldthorpe trade vocals and riffs, each attempting to usurp the other in a Marty Feldman-esque stare-off of creepy, manic intensity. Behind them, bassist Neil Mackenzie and drummer Gary Wilson maintain a reliable, undeniable backbeat. Wilson's head is twitching left and right to the rhythm, like Captain Caveman engrossed in a particularly frantic ping-pong rally. There's an uncalled for bit of art rock japery at the end of Pretends. 4 false endings where one would suffice. And the novelty of Mick Fiddler's relentless thwacking of a wooden temple block quickly wears thin. The percussion is better deployed on the Mo Tucker joins the glitter band Burundi thump of The Slide. All the band striking objects as the fuzz and rumble is rested for a few minutes. Artery's deconstructed style reaches an apotheosis with the lusty, spirited thrash of Hines, all thunderous drums and churning guitars. Its lyrics hinging on the single, repeated aphorism, "You always turn to the one you love." Artery, I decide, are a one-trick pony. True, as singular equine magic goes, it's pretty special. Paul Daniels summoning Lord Lucan to ride Red Rum to a 4th Grand National triumph. But one senses a sleight of hoof nonetheless. On New Year's Eve, I'm reunited with old school bandmates Vinna, Wilmer, Lango and Timbo, plus Steve Chapman from the Stunt Kites. We're at Timbo's house, getting quietly drunk, listening to Kraftwerk's Trans-Europe Express on the stereo. Flicking through the 3 TV stations on offer, we have Penelope Keith with Rod Hull and Emu presenting The 70s Stop Here on BBC One. Over on BBC Two, Debbie Harry and Blondie are live in concert from Glasgow. And over on ITV, there's Will Kenny Everett Make It to 1980? On the latter, David Bowie radically reworks his 1969 hit Space Oddity in a new, stark, haunting arrangement. Performing in a padded cell and a nurse-attended kitchen full of exploding appliances, Bowie's familiar lyrics connect afresh with us, children of the Gemini and Apollo space programs. 10 years on, and the space race has been run. The US Treasury won. Moonbase Alpha will only ever exist on a sci-fi TV show. I'm unemployed, uncertain about the future, and romantically unattached. Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, anyone? You have been listening to My Life in the Mosh of Ghosts with me, your host, Roger Quayle. Thank you to Simon Elliott Kemp for the intro and outro music, and thank you to Rionagh for the artwork. Join me again next time for more tales from my life in the Mosh of Ghosts. This is Roger Quayle saying thank you and bye-bye.